Manchester United 4, Bournemouth 4. Where to start? Where to begin? That game was entertaining, but it was chaotic, but it was chaos, but it was a circus. It was many things that game. It was an excellent first half where we conceded a silly goal. We should have been 2-3. We should have probably been 3-0 up. We should have been able to ride that game comfortably. We then go 3-2 behind. The half-time record is on the line. Ruben Amorim brings on Mainoo. Ruben Amorim goes to a back four. Ruben Amorim does everything we've been asking him to do, and we go and we make it 4-3. And I'm thinking, this is Manchester United. As soon as we make it 4-3, he tells them to sit back. I don't know why we're sitting back, because we know we can't defend. We need to make it 5-3. Everyone knew when it was 4-3, even if there's 10 minutes left, make it 5-3, because we will concede. And it ends 4-4. And you know what? 7 points dropped in the last 3 games at home. I get it. It is a bit of a disgrace. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not too bothered about drawing this game. I'm not, because we came from behind to then go ahead, and then we stupidly conceded late. I think the performance was entertaining. There's concerns. We've got to talk about some huge truths about the squad. But I'm not going to lie. Ruben Amorim brought on Mainoo. Ruben Amorim went to a back four. Ruben Amorim went for the win. I've been going in on Ruben Amorim for not entertaining us. For bringing on a Garde over Mainoo when we need control. For this insistence with a back five, even when we're chasing leads. And Ruben Amorim, he entertained me today. He went to a back four and we turned it around and scored 2 goals within 5 minutes. The problem is, we went to a back four, we attacked them. Then he said, I'm not going to make any other changes now we're ahead. And I'm just going to have a midfield with a big hole in and sit off them. And we knew we were going to concede. And he gave Mainoo on, and I thought Mainoo was fantastic. So I've been criticising Amorim for not entertaining us. This football was not entertaining. I was like, we're dropping points and we're bored. We drop points, but today we were entertained. We were entertained. It was a fantastic first half of football. We should have been 3-0 up. Well, the first half was fantastic, but the second half was a circus. It was appalling at times. I think we started the second half horrifically. We go 3-2 down very quickly. The midfield is an absolute mess. He brings on Mainoo for Casemiro. He goes to a back four. We have a bit more attacking intent, and we turn the game around. World-class Bruno Fernandes 3-kick. Fantastic goal from Cunha. And then we sit off them. The problem is, we can't sit off teams because we know we'll concede. And the thing is, we went to like a 4-2-4, 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to call it. And it was really good, actually. But when you're ahead, and then you're sitting off a team, and you're defending, and you've got a Bruno Mainoo pivot, who are both 8s and a 10, and you also only have 2 midfielders, the defence, yes, they conceded 4 goals today, but that's because it was so easy for Bournemouth to run through us. If I was Ruben Amorim, the minute we go ahead, I would, and you know me, I don't like bringing a guy on, but I would have gone, okay, I'm going to bring a guy on and go to a midfield 3 and just compact that midfield area. I probably would have done that, or I would have told them to make it 5-3, because we went 4-3 and then we dropped off. When it was 3-3, we were going at them. When we were 3-2 down, we were going at them. But I have to say, like, I'm not mad. I'm annoyed because we've dropped 7 points in the last 3 home games. We should have won that game. But I felt entertained. I saw a lot of positives about the squad, but I'm looking at the manager and I'm like, you need to fix us out of possession. That is your job. You need to learn how to control games, to see out leads, because our biggest problem under Ruben Amorim is we don't see out leads, we don't keep clean sheets. And it's not, for me, some people are blaming Aiden Heavens, some people are blaming Leach, some people are blaming Euro. I don't think it's the individuals in the defence, because we know De Ligt is fantastic, we still concede a lot of goals with him. I think it is the fact that there's no midfield protecting the defence. That's what I think it is. That's what I think an issue is. But I want to break down the game, I want to break down the players, I want to break down the performances, I want to break down what I think the bigger issues are. But I think this performance in general, we've scored 30 goals this season, which is second in the league. But we've conceded 26 goals this season, which is 16th. We're second for goals scored, we're 16th for goals conceded. That is a huge issue. And that is something Ruben Amorim's got to sort. That is something Ruben Amorim's got to fix. But I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about individuals. Okay, first of all, Seny Lamans. Thank you for keeping the half-time record. I'm sorry, if Onana was in goal, we concede. If Onana was in goal, we concede late and we lose the half-time record and we lose 5-4. Let's be honest. That was a chaotic game. Well done, Lamont. I think he could have done better for the free kick, but you know what? Those saves at the end was fantastic. Diogo Dalot, the right back, the left wing back. I was happy with Dalot. I think going forward, he's definitely improved. Well done, Dalot. Euro, I don't think had a bad game. I don't actually think the individual centre backs were massively at fault for the goals. I think the first goal was switched off. The second goal, I just think was really good play from Bournemouth, to be honest. But I also just think our setup out of possession and the way Amorim sets us up with two in midfield and so much space was playing into their strengths. And Amorim needs to be like, he needs to sort that, okay? Yeah. Again, Luke Shaw was fine, to be honest. I don't have many negatives to say. Casemiro, yes, he got a yellow. He's out for the next game. That's going to be annoying. Look, and Bumo was crap. That was the biggest negative. He was crap. He should have scored. Cunha put in his fantastic cross. He should have scored. He probably could have got 2 today, in fact, Bumo. He let us down today. Ahmad was excellent, particularly in the first half. Ahmad was clear man of the match in that first half. I mean, that performance from Amad Diallo in the first half was incredible. I thought Cunha was excellent, particularly in the second half, just even winning the ball back and doing defending and holding it up and the goal. Bruno Fernandez' free kick was absolutely world class. Mount had a good game. I think he tied on. And that Mainoo cameo was fantastic, you know. I was really impressed with that Mainoo cameo because he's not played a lot of minutes and he kept the ball well. He looked pretty sharp and he gave us elements of control on the ball, but we don't have control off the ball because of the structure. It was an absolute roller coaster of a game. And it's one of those games where I might have to do a 5 things we've learned tomorrow. And the reason I might have to do a 5 things we learned on the game tomorrow is because I'm still breaking it down in my head. You know, I should have maybe done a PowerPoint. I just wanted to talk about the game. Like, I'm still breaking it down in my head. We've kept 8 clean sheets in 59 games under Ruben Amorim, which is a pretty appalling stat. We probably should have been 3-0 up by half time, though, and you can blame that on the players for the missing. We've got 0 wins at Old Trafford since October, which is concerning. But then we're seeing we've got so much quality in attack. And the question is, do you say sack Amorim now? Because look at the quality that this team has. Look at the goals we're scoring. A better manager could set us up better with more structure, with more control, get the best out of these players, and we can get Champions League? Or do you say, you know what, the players could have finished that, the players should have done better there, and let's see it out and give them time? That is the question. That is the question for you. For me, personally, I think that this squad has been misprofiled by the manager, and I think the manager got his subs absolutely spot on, but then he leaves it, and he leaves this hole in midfield. And we know that we knew we were going to concede. Like, we knew when we scored the 4th, we were going to concede again. So we needed to go for the 5th. I want to talk about Bruno. I feel sorry for Bruno Fernandes. He is a Premier League legend. He is a Premier League legend. He is one of the best players to ever play in the Premier League. I'm telling you this now, Bruno Fernandes, but he will never get the credit and appreciation for it because of the state of the club that he's played in. So I will say that about Bruno. Ruben Amorim, to describe Ruben Amorim ball, sometimes we play football around Ruben Amorim and I think, wow, that's fantastic. And other times we play football around Amorim, I think that's awful. And I think this game was an example of it. Really good for about 35 minutes, crap for about 30 minutes, an end-to-end ending. We seem to not be good over 90. Bruno Fernandes now has, by the way, guys, the most goal involvements across Europe's top 5 leagues since the start of November in 9. Erling Haaland has 8, Mbappe has 8. Haaland has 8. And there's some people at this club that think Bruno Fernandes is the problem. There's some people at this club that think Bruno Fernandes is not good enough. Nuts. I say the club, some people at the club, or some people in this fan base, not at the club. I think everyone at the club knows Bruno Fernandes is excellent. So there's some people in this fan base that think Bruno is the problem. There's some people in this fan base that think Bruno is not good enough. Bruno doesn't suit the system, but that's not Bruno's fault. That's the manager's fault. Bruno is such a world-class player, and if you cannot see this, go to Specsavers. You know what? This video is just really hard to record because I feel like my brain hasn't digested the game. So I think I'm going to do a 5 things we learned tomorrow. But the Kobbie Mainoo cameo was excellent. Like, Kobbie Mainoo was fantastic in that 30-minute cameo. Really impressed with him, the touches and control. I thought Amad Diallo was absolutely excellent. He's going to be a huge miss at AFCON, and I'm concerned. I thought we played some of our best football in a back 4. I think there's a balance issue. You know, I think there is a massive balance issue in terms of we scored the 2nd most goals in the league. We've conceded the 16th most. We're 16th for goals conceded. That's a little bit worrying in that sense. It's just, I just feel like we have the quality to get. I generally believe we have the quality to get Champions League football. I think with everyone else dropping off, we have the quality to get Champions League football. I thought, Ahmad and Bumo, Cunha, Mount, Bruno, Mainoo, they're all excellent players. Sesko, I thought did all right actually when he came on. But it is, defensively, we could finish 16th. And I don't think that is on Aiden Heaven or Leach or De Ligt or Maguire or Yorick, because I don't think they're bad defenders. I think it's the fact that we set up in a way that gives us no control in the middle of the park, which means we cannot control games. So that when we play games, it's like ping pong rather than controlling games, and teams can run right through us. And that worries me. Bruno Fernandes, by the way, got 1 goal, 1 assist, created 5 chances, and made 10 defensive contributions. Yet some people on this fan base want Bruno Fernandes to leave and think he's the problem. Bruno Fernandes was also basically crying at full time because we didn't win that game, and he was so frustrated that we did not win that game. Just making that clear as well. That's how much he loves the club. He's a player that's not only good, but he's a player that loves and cares about the club, and we need those kind of players. Cunha was very good. I'm happy he got his goal. I feel like with Cunha, he's very good, but sometimes he rushes his final action because he's too keen to score. And I think Cunha getting that goal might rest his head a little bit. My only worry is we've got Aston Villa next. There's no Casemiro because he's suspended. There's no Ahmad. There's no Mbumo. And we've got Aston Villa next, who won 9 games in a row. So I am really concerned about this game. However, we seem to do quite well versus Villa. We seem to have a good record versus Villa. But look, for me, I'm happy with the game. I'm annoyed we dropped points. I'm happy with Amorim's subs. I'm happy with Amorim's calls. I don't think today's completely on Amorim, but I think it does expose Amorim's unsustainable tactical setup. I think this game showed we've got the quality to do something big this season. Is the manager good enough? I'm not sure. But I'm not going to complain. Do you know what? A lot of people are complaining. A lot of people screaming Amorim out, and that fair enough. But I'm not going to complain because all I asked was, if we're not going to win games, which I think we should win this game. I think there's an opportunity for top 5. But I was like, I want to be entertained. I want to be entertained. I think we were good enough to win the game, but we were also bad enough to lose the game, and Lamont saved us. But I was entertained. I was happy with the subs. I think mostly positive. But this is 2 big points dropped. And I think when there's a really big opportunity to get Champions League football, we're going to look back at this. We're going to look back at Everton. We're going to look back at West Ham and go, Because now we've got a few games with our best players at AFCON, and I think more points could be dropped. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.